Hey,
Oh,
he's
here he
here.
is.
Up. The scene.
It's fashionably late.
Oh, the championship contender has turned up.
The Ben is in. We are.
Let's go.
Finally.
Alright,
Let's
Ben,
go.
choose your Ferrari quickly.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. As you can see, we're back league racing again. This is for ASR Season 3, round number 3 for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and as you can tell by the title, things probably may or may not go so well. I do have some bad news to give you from the start. Unfortunately, due to the events that went down in China, where I tried to lose a bit of my front wing so that I would actually get the car fixed in the first pit stop, I got like 8 penalty points for that, and because of that, it means I'm starting from the back for this Bahrain Grand Prix. A qualifying ban for intentionally crashing out, which I can honestly say that was not my intent. My intent was just to get a bit of yellow front wing. A mistake that I paid the ultimate price for myself, but yet I'm penalized further, and yeah, that's it's a bit bullcrap, but I can kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same time, there wasn't even a rule for that was accounted for. It even said in the stewards panel. But either way, I was lucky just to make it to this race. In all honesty, I was at the Gold Coast 600, an event on the Gold Coast, like an hour and a half away from where I live, and I was doing some. It was basically a race to get to the league race in the first place, and I was just able to squeak in. I was 10 minutes late, but thankfully enough, these guys took a while sorting out the lobby, and I was able to just get in time. I've done no practice on the game on this particular day. I did like 10 laps the day before, but I was really out of sync because I've been playing Gran Turismo Sport and on the PS4 all week in the days leading up to this, so I'm heavily unprepared for this league race. So yeah, in all honesty, I'm just hoping for some points. Any kind of gain I can get from this, starting from last place, is just going to be a bonus. I mean, if I get crashed out or something like that, it would not surprise me. I'm just expecting the worst from this race. But we'll see what we can do. Starting from 18th place, we're going to do the one stop. Starting on the soft compound tyres, running until lap 12, something like that. And then going on the mediums to finish off this race. Now, everyone who's starting on the supers are going to be really hard pressed to make a one stop from here. They may be forced onto a two stop, so we'll have to see how that goes. But as you can see there, I loaded a setup for the race, or for qualifying as well, and we get to the race now, and I got the stock setup glitch. So basically, the setup that I loaded was reset by the game, and now I have the engineer setup. And if you guys know, you lose like a second and a half, maybe more, due to not having a good setup. And yeah, as you can see, qualifying ban, last place, no practice, stock setup. It does not get any worse from this, and that is why that is the title of this video. I am not expecting to get anything amazing out of this Grand Prix now. But here we go, 5 red lights for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Away we go. I'm going to take it really cautious here into turn 1, starting from last place. This is effectively going to be like a Survive series, where I just avoid losing any damage over getting any kind of track position. But heading into turn 1, there is a Sauber that runs wide there, forcing near a couple cars on the inside, a little bit tangled up. And no, there has just been an absolute pile-up at the exit of turn 3, and now we find ourselves inside the top 10. I don't know how that transpired. I could not believe my eyes when I saw that went down. I didn't know if it was lag or just someone being an absolute Maldonado of that, but that was just mad. I couldn't believe it. I thought something's got to be glitching here, but it turned out to be true, and there we go. We are now in 7th place, and right behind, oh my god, it's Joe. AOR split 1 driver, really solid, and we're right behind him, and in front of Warden as well, who is in really good form at the moment too. So yeah, honestly, dream start. This gets me through the first lap. I'm in a decent position now, which I can work with for the race. I still have the stock setup though, so that's going to be pretty tough to deal with. I have made some minor setup changes. I adjusted the brake bias towards the rear to help rotate the car a little bit better, and at the first pit stop, we'll be taking off 2 clicks of downforce in order to make the car a little bit more stable and fast in the straight line. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But at this stage, we're actually looking pretty decent here, putting on pressure. So oh my god, it's Joe. I was expecting him to just pull away off into the distance. But yeah, these first few laps here, very exploratory for me. Haven't done any practice in the game today whatsoever, so it was really just a case of me to try and find my feet if I could. The fact that we're in a good position, racing some decent drivers now, means that I should be able to get away with this race fairly cleanly for the rest of the Grand Prix, provided I don't do something stupid myself, which could entirely happen. We don't know. But here's a replay of the start. This is on board with Exploding Emerald, and starting off in the front row alongside my teammate New Zealand Ryan. He got off to an okay start, not as good as Ryan obviously on the harder compound tyres, but heading into turn 1 you'd think you'd be safe on the front row of the grid, but no, he just kind of gets caught in between, I think it was Fitcho and the Force India, and he was just getting constantly just rammed in the side by other cars. He couldn't make any progress himself and just got caught up in the action. Here's Fitcho's POV. He just goes clean around the outside and just gets squeezed for space. There was just no room left for him to continue on. And as he rejoined on the track, just completely spun out there. And there was also another incident on the inside part of the track involving Brock Does Stuff and Palms to the Wind. And yeah, that caused a bit of a Constantina effect as well, slowing up other people like Joe and iFens, I believe, Greek Master, even Warden as well, who's now behind me. So quite a few people involved in that, you know, first lap kerfuffling, and now we're finally starting to settle into things. I decided to let Warden go there. He was up my inside. I didn't really fight the position because I knew how fast he was, and if I could just follow him, pick up some of his lines, see if I could improve my own driving, and just follow him through. If he makes any moves on the cars ahead, then I should be able to hopefully capitalize on that kind of racing as well. But as you can see there was a bit of an incident there between Greek Master and AOR Charlie. I believe the two of them squeezed each other at turn 2, and Greek Master ended up much worse for wear there, so he'll be pretty unhappy with that. He was pretty much in contention for the podium and would have liked to have chased down the likes of New Zealand Ryan and whoever's in second place as well. I believe it's Dominator. But yeah, we now find ourselves right on the back of Charlie. We actually come together there at the exit of the triple left-hander. And yeah, a bit frustrating. AOR Charlie, he's a little bit laggy. He's very aggressive when it comes to defending. And sometimes he gets a little carried away with holding on to position, and just results in both parties losing so much time. And it just doesn't make for some enjoyable battling, shall we say. But here's a replay of Greek Master. Cheers to him to sending me this this onboard footage. He goes into turn 1, affects the overtake up the inside, and then for whatever reason there was a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, and Greek Master was the one who ended up going around and almost lost a bit of his front wing on Chimchar there as he spun the car around. So yeah, very unfortunate incident there. Just got a little bit too close, and yeah, he ended up losing, I don't know, the best part of 10 seconds there. So Greek Master is going to be pretty pissed off. He's going to be on the charge, and we'll possibly have to watch out for him later on in the Grand Prix, one of the title challenges this season. But we carry on to lap 8 now. You can see the pace it's not great. It's consistent, but it's a bit slow. So I'm just slowly working myself into the race, hopefully trying to build my speed. And by the time we fit on the medium tyres, pace should be a bit better, hopefully, and with a lower downforce change, we'll see what we can do with that. But yeah, we've caught up to the back of Joe, who looks like he's struggling a lot, all of a sudden really losing the rear end. Maybe he hasn't been saving his tyres, and that's really been punishing him. It's just a thing in F1 2017, you need to save your tyres. Like, I've noticed it a little bit in career mode now, especially when you're trying to push on. Your rear tyres really start to give out, you know, towards the end of the stint, and running in lean through the slower corners, the traction zones, really does help in reducing the rear tyre wear, and allows you to push a little bit longer into the stints. And that was something I was definitely doing a little bit better than some of the others around in this race, and that allowed me to kind of, you know, maintain the position I was in at the moment, which is actually 4th place. And I was, you know, really shocked to be in 4th after 11 laps of this Grand Prix. I've actually changed the setup on the incoming pit stop. I was originally going to go down to 4-6 wings, but I decided the car feels actually pretty good. Let's notch it down by just 1 front wing setting and go down to 5 and see how that plays out for the rest of the Grand Prix. But we're into the pits now, lap 12 like I said, and we'll be running these medium tyres to the end of the race. I believe Warden has also come into the pits as well with us, and Greekmaster 2 right behind, so we basically hold station. I believe Joe undercut us by a lap or two. If not, he's dropped off quite a bit from the back of Greekmaster, so it's either one of the two. Either way, Joe is quite struggling at this stage of the Grand Prix, but yeah, from here we were just pushing on, making sure we could stay in the fight with Warden, try and keep him in touching distance, but that didn't really work out. We now fall into the clutches of Greekmaster, who's now in the slipstream. He's got some DRS. I'm trying to shake him off my slipstream. Doesn't really work too well, and he might go for a little lunge up the inside into turn 1. I leave him the space. I actually leave quite a massive gap there. Probably didn't need to leave that much. It's actually hurt my exit now on the run through turns 2 and 3. And now possibly have another look into turn 4 again. We might have to leave the space here if he goes for the lunge. I don't think he really did there. I went in a little bit too deep and actually slid the car out on the exit of turn 4. And now he has a look up the inside into the middle sector. Nothing really doing there, but yeah, we hold on for now. He's actually got a really nice exit, and there he goes up the inside into the 90-degree right-hander, and just let him have the corner there, have the position, and we'll just continue on our merry way. He was a lot faster than me anyway, so no real point in, you know, fighting that battle. Sometimes you just got to know when you're not in the battle, you're not, you know, really, I don't know, overly competitive, and today was definitely that day. It was more a task of damage limitation, just getting myself to the end. 6th place or 5th or whatever it may be by the end of the Grand Prix is truly an amazing result when you consider where I was heading into this race. I was looking like I wasn't even going to make it. I said I would take points, and if we in the end come home to finish in 5th, that would be absolutely incredible, which is looking ever more likely as we have 5 laps to go in this race. Just ultimately down to me to hold on to this position with iFens chasing me down on soft compound tyres. The gap was coming down a little bit, I'd say half a second a lap, but I was just managing that right through to the end, and yeah, we should be able to hold on to the position for now. So we're going to actually cut away from my battle, and we're going to go off to X-Fitcho, who is fighting over a fringe points finish here with Chimchar on lap 25. So yeah, these guys, I believe, have a bit of a ding-dong battle, and that's what we're going to focus on for the finish of this race. So here goes Chimchar up the inside into the final corner. Nice move. Fitcho around the outside on the medium tyres. I believe he's been on these tyres ever since the first few laps. Fitcho loves extending his tyre stints right from the start of the race through to the end. So yeah, I don't know how he's so good on his tyres, but he just is. He's an absolute wizard at making them last. But we see Chimchar just before the DRS straight let him go, and he's going to re-overtake him again. I didn't really understand the logic behind that. Yes, you can get DRS and try and overtake again, but sometimes I feel like you're better off just holding position, especially on 2017 where the slipstream isn't so great. I was a bit puzzled by that. He should have just held on to the position. That's a little bit cheeky, but the battle continues now as we head into the middle sector. Again, Fitcho up the inside on his medium tyres, bless him. He does his best, and looks like he might hold on to this position as they run side by side through the middle sector. This is not a place you should be running side by side. It is so easy to run wide into the other guy's line, but they managed to get through there cleanly, and Chimchar actually gets him back again into the right hand. And this is an incredible battle, it must be said. On the penultimate lap of this Bahrain Grand Prix, it's only worth 1 point. You know, whoever gets 9th place over 10th place, but they are fighting like it's for the World Championship, and it's absolutely amazing to see. But here we go, again, in the slipstream. Chimchar has the DRS, but Fitcho goes for the dive, really close in the braking zone, and he manages to hold on to P9 as they head on to the final lap now. Here comes Chimchar, unsurprisingly. A dive up the inside. Fitcho knows he's there. He plays this pretty calmly, pretty smartly, very composed, because he knew he'd have the inside for the next left-hander, and he got the move done. But Chimchar comes back in the middle sector into the triple left-hander. That is a really bold and brave move to pull that off without locking up, which he managed to do. Us, though, we come home in P5. We pretty much managed that to the end. Sorry about the lack of updates, but there was literally nothing going on my end, so 10 points. I will absolutely take it. But back to this battle. Here goes Fitcho up the inside. Really late lunge into the penultimate corner, and they almost wheel touch as they go down the penultimate back straight. I'm losing my voice here. And I absolutely do not know who's going to finish in front here. Here goes Fitcho up the inside. Chimchar, I probably got my money on him. Flying run round the outside on the soft compound tyres, but no, it looks like Fitcho has it and will get 9th place in this ASR race. I think that's Joe crashed out on the start-finish straight. And we also have the 2 Saubers running side by side up to the finish. I'm not too sure which one came out on top. We'll have to check that on the standings. But there we go. What a race. That first corner was an absolute mess. It cost a lot of people their races, and in the end, New Zealand Ryan comes home to win the Grand Prix. Congrats to him. He's been incredible so far this season. Really consistent, really fast, and he did everything he needed to get the victory today. 8.1 seconds over Dominator as well. Really good drive from him. He kept his nose clean and was, you know, pretty solid in his drive as well, keeping with fairly close, within 10 seconds to our championship leader. But yeah, there you go. Warden also recovers as well to get a podium. Griefmaster home in 4th. We get 5th, and in the end, it was Poms the win, getting over his teammate Master Berserk in the Sauber. But guys, that has been this video for today. ASR Season 3 for Bahrain. Hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2017 videos. The next race, I believe, is Russia. And with strict corner cutting rules, that is going to be an absolute corner cutting mess. And there's going to be so many track extending penalties and whatever else. So honestly, I think whoever wins that race will be the one who has the least amount of penalties. But yeah, for that race, I'm going to be practicing a lot more, going to be a lot more prepared. So hopefully we can, you know, build upon what we've laid the foundation for today and hopefully get a podium. Until then, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.